I met Eleklema, our candidate, and we met all the grassroots of Dome Kwabenya. I left there thinking fully in my mind that the NDC was going to win Dome Kwabenya. And so, if you had taught this country, if you had met poverty face to face, I met poverty face to face. Today, I can tell what poverty is face to face because I saw it with my eyes. I saw people who could not even eat. I mean, in a whole day, in 2 days, people were struggling to get food to eat. Saw people who, I mean, had 50 Ghana cedis and they couldn't buy anything for them. We visited Aboso Kai, we visited the Swami magazine, and we saw people who, I mean, could not even clear one container at the port. If you had seen all these things, obviously you would have known, you were going to win the election, and you would have known that the government in office was going to lose the election. Dr. Maumia will visit these places and shout, "Move fast here, no mame." Then they bring in my home use Opel Vectra here. Then he'll be turning. Then the child will shout, "Boabe, boabe." Then pepe. You would not face reality if you go about turning a home use Opel Vectra here. If you want to face reality, go
for Deputy National Communications Officer of the NDC, Malik Basintale. Therefore, audience Mbia Tuja, Ewa Joy News. Abra no more stream common. And a host Nibusani say, said the NDC for SCR MPP moon, or 2024 election moon. Who said air banner, ye. And also, on a young one, who pass air. No one say yes. NDC for between MPP mu ankasa. Of course, what you must say Ghana, yeah, to abana a free and fair. There's no way MPP beat me a fact. So, what I in same being in a frame, say 2016 and 2020 about one MPP are in a fan chamber, no fair and free. Therefore, especially in 2020, Diana. So, me makasa na yetinti moment ko tie nsema Malik Basintale, Deputy National Communications of the NDC. Therefore, editor Embra.
All right, so here we are back and we are delving straight into our first conversation. Now, the gentleman I'm about to speak to is a Deputy National Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress. And he's been vociferous out there.
This is
He's a man
TV.
who has won the hearts of many NDC youth with his charisma. And in recent times, though, there have been some altercations, posts. I don't know whether he's the fighter general, but he joins me in the studio this morning. His name is Malik Basintale. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
It's good to have you join the conversation this morning.
It's good to join you in studios this morning.
I was expecting to see you maybe in, like General doing KTS, Batakari with the, the one that, the war smoke and all that. Because you've been on fire a lot in recent times, running all over the place. And this morning you've run into our studios.
If have you ever seen an American CIA or secret unit person in such a regalia? They wear suits.
Oh, but this is Ghana, this is not America.
But there's nowhere where those attire means you're going to war. And I've never seen anyone wear such an attire today.
But back in the day...
And there's no reason why I should wear such an attire because, I mean, I'm not one person. That attire does not mean you even going to war in the first place.
It doesn't.
As Sedun Ketia wears that attire, it doesn't mean he's going to war.
I'm not insinuating that it
who
does.
Wear that attire, it doesn't mean they're going to war.
It points to history and what back then those who were going into war, where some of the leaders charging the forces would put on. So historically,
I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn about that.
Oh well, you should check.
I'm here to learn about that.
But coming to some of the latest developments, let me just ask: before the elections, Malik Basintale, there was a lot that you said. Your boots were on the ground. You were massing the supporters, the forces, so to speak, to go out there and vote. How did you find election 2024?
It was an interesting one. We knew we were winning. We knew the Ghanaian people were going to give us the mandates. We knew we were going to win with a large margin. If no one knew.
You knew you were going to win with a large margin.
Yes.
I see.
Because Anytime there is a free and fair election, the NDC wins. Anytime there's a free and fair election.
Anytime there is a free and fair election,
the NDC wins.
Was the election fair in 2000 or not? The NDC was in power.
The NDC
was it free?
in power, we lost.
Was it free?
In 2000.
In 2000. Was it free?
Happened. I mean, we're just moving out from an era from 92 to 2000. We're moving out of an era of military regime. People still saw Jerry Rawlings as a soldier man, and people still felt that that 8-year period was still a military regime.
No, but,
so we're
but
moving out of that.
To the question.
But from 2000,
that specifically,
absolutely. From
every time
there's a free and fair election,
and I'm asking you, in 2000, was it free? Was it fair?
In 2000, the election. The NPP came on board with so many things, and they did a lot of things. So take it from 2000.
So
in 2004.
So the 2000 election was stolen?
Take it from 2000.
Was it stolen?
In 2004. I'm saying that in 2000, the dynamics were different because people still saw the 8-year term of the NDC as being some sort of a military regime, and people still felt that Jerry was in charge and what have you. But from 2000, people felt that, okay, we had civilians contesting election in this country. So in 2000, we had civilians. In 2004, we had civilians. In 2008, we had civilians. 2012, civilians, till date. So if you want to use the 2092 to 2000 election as a basis, you get it wrong because the dynamics were different, and that is why even in 1992 the NPP boycotted the election, some part of it, because they still felt that the soldiers were in charge and there was a military regime and all of that. But after 2000, anytime there is vigilance, anytime things are done right, the NDC wins. And so we usually have two things to do in every campaigning period. We have to campaign to the people, we have to share our policies, and we have to remain vigilant.
Let me
that
ask
is what
you,
we did in this election.
Were things not done right or well in 2016 when the NDC lost, the last time you lost?
In 2016, the system shut down. Charlotte confirmed that the system was hacked. You knew about that.
There was a shutdown.
In 2016, it affected the results. We know why we say that, because our internal research unit pointed out to the fact that the systems were hacked, the system was shut down, the EC confirmed it, and a lot of things happened behind the scenes.
That shutdown was not enough to have changed the result. Not my opinion.
And I'm saying that was the EC boss herself confirmed that her systems were hacked.
Yes, but did she say?
Yes.
Never did she say that it had impacted the elections to the point where
we say that impacted the elections.
So say that the NDC is saying.
I just said our research unit said it had impacted the election, but the EC said the systems were hacked and confirmed that. That's the point I'm making.
No one is disputing that.
Yeah, that's the point
even in an organization, you can have a hack.
Absolutely.
It can be a root hack that destroys everything.
And we are
saying, a minor hack.
And we are saying that in 2016, as a result of a systems being hacked, it affected the election results based on our research. And that was why we set up a team, the Kwesi report, to the Kwesi committee, to go around and ascertain why we lost the election. At the end of the day, we realized that even the EC systems that were tampered with had an impact on our election results.
Okay, so
we fought hard, we worked on it, we came back in 2020, and 2020, the election was rigged again. In 2024, have you heard anyone say the elections were rigged? The NDC has won with 1.6
But you had been beating the rigging drum, Dr. Tanko, your deputy head of IT, had been here talking about that. In fact, he brought a book, How to Rig an Election.
Yes,
I remember he brought it here, shared a copy with
100%.
A lot of you had spoken
100%.
about rigging. So if you felt that the system was apt now, why were you still beating the drum of
the EC's register was audited, and close to 1 million duplications were taken out. On my phone, I have about 210,000 duplications that were on the register, and that was why we were fighting
How did you
for
come
an
about
audit.
this?
I mean, it's simple. You take the register, just open the register, go to a constituency. You realize that one person's name has been repeated in polling station A, it's been repeated in polling station B. And what that meant was that that person could have voted in A and voted in B. And that was why a lot of times we had a lot of vote pardon occurring, because you find out that you have a total population of 500 voters here. They finish voting and you find 700 papers in the box. It was upset. And so we thought that no, we needed to scrutinize the register. When we did, we took out close to 500,000 duplications. That's how come we won the election. So in 2020, we lost the election by about 500,000 votes. We didn't understand that. But after the audit, we realized that yes, we were right. And if you remember, when we were calling for an audit of the register from the Electoral Commission, they told us to give them some time to provide it, the final register. Give us some time. From the time of the provisional register to the time of the final register, they realized that a lot of things ought to have been done. Look, in Kaswa, I forgot the name of the polling station. It existed in 2023 register where we voted in the district assembly election, but was absent in the 2024 register. Over 500 people who used to vote at that polling station just went into thin air. What could that have meant? That meant that we had fake polling stations for the first time. Now we won a Wutu Senya East. That had never occurred in the history of this country.
So you think it is some machination,
absolutely,
manipulation that in the past,
that made us lose elections.
Apart from these that you talk about, the duplications that you were able to sift.
That's right.
What other measures did you put in place to counter this alleged attempt at rigging?
Number 2, vigilance at the polling stations. We made sure that, in fact, on the election day, we discovered over 1 million ballot papers thumb printed in the Ashanti region. Our national organizer, Joseph Yamin, discovered that 1 million. Imagine 1 million papers going.
Wait, does this have to be have to do with the claim about a certain room where people were? Because that couldn't be substantiated.
No, but
or is this a different incident?
The incident, I don't know which incident you're talking about, but what I'm speaking about are 1 million ballot papers thumb printed for Dr. Baumia in a room. Our national organizer discovered it and reported it to the police.
I heard something about that and sample whatever ballots and all of that. But what happened to
in this one? It's been reported to the police. It's been taken to police custody, and there are investigations ongoing in that. If we hadn't mounted vigilance at the polling stations, 1 million ballot papers would have gone into the box. The NDC would have lost, and Ghanaians would come say, no, I voted for you. I voted for you. 1.6 million Ghanaians would say, I voted for you. I voted for you. Yet we are in opposition. And so all these years, we've had a system in place that continuously rigged election in favor of our opponents. I'm saying, and I'll repeat on this platform, anytime we have a free and fair election, the NDC will win. If one mark my words here,
you're taking 2,000 out. You're taking 2,000.
I am saying, absolutely.
I don't know what you would say about.
I just explained that to you.
What is interesting is that all the way up to about 2008 and beyond,
yes,
you had a certain Dr. Afarijan.
That's right.
Who had given elections.
That's right.
When I say give, not
That's
that he decided.
That's right.
Ghanaians voted for the NDC 92, 96. He declared that you had won. 2000, you lost. He declared you had lost.
My brother.
2004, you lost. 2008, you came back.
Today,
and then through elections, I have seen Malik. Let's have a conversation.
Yes.
I have seen. I've forgotten. I don't know whether it was Dr. Nyahunya Otamatla. I have to check.
That's
respectfully,
right.
so that I don't make a mistake. But someone suggests that even like 2016 and 2020 were manipulated. They were manipulated.
Yes, we suggested that as a party.
by the MPP. But you see, it becomes difficult because Dr. Afarijan, you know how we all celebrate him. He gave you elections.
Yes.
You also lost elections. And you're saying that these elections were manipulated and the EC also was compromised?
My brother, the cripple says that what has passed is what it will not see. But what is coming, inshallah, we'll all see. Today is the 16th of December. From today, anytime there's a free and fair election, we are going to win the election. Count that out, straight up.
Anytime there's a free and fair election.
Yes, no need to debate this. I'm saying that today is the 16th of December. Mark my words. From today, anytime there's a free and fair election, we are going to win the election. NDC. Mark my words. Let's move on.
Okay. Now, I find a few things interesting. On the back of the election, though, you say you knew that it was going to be the win by a wide margin.
A wider margin.
But could even you have forecast that the margin would be this big?
Yes.
This wide?
Yes.
I spoke to one professor from UPSC, and I told him here that I feel whichever party wins will win with a big margin. He was telling me it's going to be a small margin. I said no. It would be a big margin.
Absolutely.
But members of your party, even they have said that while they felt there would be a margin, they least suspected it would be, and it's still increasing, over 1.67 million votes. Because when you add the other constituencies, eventually the percentages would even change. And the former president, now president-elect, would get more than 56.55%. But did you see it to be this big? Look at the Ashanti region, for example. Almost 700,000 votes. Did you see that coming?
I personally thought 205 constituencies. I had every reason to see that we were going to win with a big margin because I saw the pain down the throats of the grassroots there. We visited Adansi Akro from where we won. I knew we were going to win that constituency after visiting it. Almost all constituencies. Nantong was in the hands of MPP. We visited Nantong and we saw we were going to win the election in Nantong. We visited Binduri. We saw we were going to win the election in Binduri. A lot of constituencies we are taking back. Ahanta West, we visited Ahanta West. We saw we were going to win Ahanta West back. I personally ended my campaign in Kwesi Mintim. On that day, I knew we were going to win Kwesi Mintim. We visited Dome Kwabenya. We knew we were going to win Dome Kwabenya. Put all these visitations aside. These are real life situations. Come to the radar. Go on research. Musa Dankwa is one highly esteemed person in this country. The first day Musa Dankwa, and let me confess on this platform, told me we're going to win Dome Kwabenya. I looked at him and I smiled. And I said, sir, that's going to be a tough one. But after I visited Dome Kwabenya, and met Eleklema, our candidate, and we met all the grassroots of Dome Kwabenya. I left there thinking fully in my mind that the NDC was going to win Dome Kwabenya. And so, if you had taught this country, if you had met poverty face to face, I met poverty face to face. Today, I can tell what poverty is face to face because I saw it with my eyes. I saw people who could not even eat. I mean, in a whole day, in 2 days, people were struggling to get food to eat. Saw people who, I mean, had 50 Ghana cedis and they couldn't buy anything for them. We visited Aboso Kai, we visited the Swami magazine, and we saw people who, I mean, could not even clear one container at the port. If you had seen all these things, obviously you would have known, you were going to win the election, and you would have known that the government in office was going to lose the election. Dr. Baumia will visit these places and shout, "Move fast here, no mame." Then they bring him my home use Opel Vectra steer. Then he'll be turning. Then the child will shout, "Boabe, boabe." Then pe. You would not face reality if you go about turning a home use Opel Vectra steer. If you want to face reality, go to the people, listen to them, let them speak. Listen and write it down. When we're drafting our manifesto, one of the things the nation builder, President Mahama, said was that he was not going to sit in Accra and conclude the manifesto. He was going to come to you journalists. He was going to go to the watcher seller. He was going to go to the cocoa seller. And all those people were going to bring their inputs on board for us to finalize our manifesto. And that was why President Mahama had an engagement with you media men. You remember, he listened to you. He made you ask your questions. Everybody, almost everybody, was satisfied with the answers to your questions on that very day. That was a government that was ready to listen to the people. But if you come meet journalists and you say, DJ, play Sisifia, oh, Sisifia, and you are an expert in dance moves in this country, how are you going to win an election? People are not voting for the Asa candidates, excuse me to say. People are voting for somebody who's going to
I think you should be a bit more respectful. Hold for me, Malik.
Not to come and dance.
Malik, hold on.
Yes.
All contenders from time to time will dance a bit, show some moves, but let's be a bit more respectful.
Not at this.
Let's be a bit more respectful to the candidate.
I haven't insulted anyone. No. You see. Let me come with the greatest of
when
respect.
You say all you
he
know
danced.
is to come and dance.
I said he came and danced. Is he fair? Did he or did he not? Is that a fact or not? He came and said, "Mon fasti anamame." Is that a fact or not? He said, "Odome de ka nebema." Is that a fact or not?
He said that.
That was Baumia's favorite song. Odome de ka nebema. Yeah, Odome de ka nebema.
So Nana Komia makes mention of the fact that per their internal research, all the way from February of this year, they knew that President Mahama was likely, in fact, would win the elections. Yes. But certain things happened. Of course, they also, as a party, they put in place mechanisms to counter that.
Yeah, they brought PR reports.
And you can give them credit for doing that. But let me ask you, in terms of the elections, you mentioned Dome Kwabenya, that Eleklima Kurugu had won and all of that. But that is being contested. In fact, there are 4 constituencies where, yes, including there's the Okankwe area. Yes, Dome Kwabenya is being contested. If you check, you will find out. It's one of the 4. And then there are those other areas which were being collated, including in Sawam Edrajiri, Fankanodompre, which were being collated at the Tesano Police Training School. There has been some cessation there. I don't know what your reaction is, because when it comes to the CI governing the work of the Electoral Commission, it is clear about what should happen when an election takes place and there's a contest.
Absolutely.
The person goes to the High Court.
I was just going to read that.
But barring CI 41, the Electoral Commission, in defense of its action to recollate, has said that the circumstances are different. They are not the same as in previous instances. Here, in some instances, people were literally under duress to declare, electoral officials or election officials, to declare results in certain places, and that some of those circumstances nullify the results, which justify recollation. Your take?
Who ascertains or who finally agrees that, who determines whether someone was under duress or not? Who determines that? The court. So if you give your side of the story that I was under duress, we don't just agree to that. We don't just come into terms with the fact that because you said you were under duress, it meant that you were under duress. The court determines whether someone was under duress or was under undue influence. And so it still rests at the doorsteps of the court. So the gentleman's side does not determine whether someone was under duress or not. I saw a write-up from Tema Central where the EC officer, finally fingered myself, the Honorable Dafia Makpo, Hannah Bisiu, and even the candidate, Ebi Bright, and said we had forced him to declare the results. Meanwhile, the one who even signed under that piece was not the one who declared the results. It was another EC officer, the returning officer there, who declared the results. Yet another person now writes and says they forced me. Forced who? Were you the one who declared the results? So the only institution that determines whether someone was under duress or was under undue influence is the court, because we also have laid claims that some of those returning officers were bribed. For example, the Tema Central returning officer, he's called Ufosuin, I stand to be corrected, I've forgotten the name. We are saying that he was bribed because on a number of...
Who was bribed? Was he an agent on your side?
No, he was the EC's returning officer.
Oh, I see.
Yes, I just wanted to get his name.
And you say he was bribed. You have evidence to that effect?
When we get to court, would
no, but do you? I'm only asking you. Do you have evidence?
That is why I am saying that.
Because you are saying it now. The person is not here to defend himself.
I am saying.
I have to be fair to him.
You are not listening to me. I said he claims he was under duress. We are also claiming he was bribed. So the right institution to determine that is the court.
Yes, but
as simple as that.
But in making the claim, I'm merely asking.
Absolutely.
So if you go to court,
yes,
you have the evidence that he was bribed.
Yes, because there were a number of instances where he even left his decks at the same time with Titus Glover, and we lodged complaints to the police commander that look, you are collating results. All of a sudden, you leave the scene, Titus Glover leaves, you come back at the same time. At every point, you leave again. And these were reports made to the district commander. And that was why we said...
So that is the proof you have?
That's one of the proofs. That's why we said we could not agree to his declaration. And then the EC official came and declared the results in our favor. Then you say you're under duress. If you're under duress, go to court. Go and substantiate your claims. Because if we want to go by what the EC has said, and that is why I'm saying that you can use a different cane for Kojo and use a different cane for Techi. Use same cane. The EC in 2020 told us that elections are won at the polling station. Once collation is done, once the declaration is done, if you don't agree, go to court. My brother, is that not what they told us? One of the very famous slogans of the MPP is go to court, go to court. Why are they running away from the court today? Mr. Afenyo Markin is crying all around, saying that people should recollate results. Mr. Afenyo Markin, you are a lawyer, go to court. They are crying helter-skelter, they won't agree to collation. The declaration has been done. If you don't agree, go to court.
It's interesting how, with a change of power, the rhetoric has changed. First, it was the MPP telling you go to court. Yes. Now you are telling them go to court.
We've learned from them.
Hey, politics.
No, we've learned from them.
You've learned from them.
Yes, we've learned from them. I mean, now, because in 2020, when we didn't agree, they told us to go to court. We went to court. So we had learned. Now is their turn. They should go to court. They should walk the talk. Let us see them do it. When they advised us in 2020, we did it. Now they should do it. They should go to court. I mean, in 2020, anytime we had cases in this economy and they wanted to speak, they say go to court. Even when there were clear irregularities in it, they say go to court. Now it is their turn. Please, they are the masters of going to court. They should go to court. So that we have peace in this country. Look, the Tesano Police Training Center, I understand the IGP even got furious and said we couldn't be People are training people. Then you go and hide in a cubicle and say you are doing recollation. Where have you ever heard of recollation?
Wait, as far as I saw, there were open spaces where they were supposed to do the recollation. Who was hiding in a cubicle?
Which of my words, which of my phrases are you challenging?
Doing the recollation.
Which of my phrases are you challenging? The cubicle.
Because I saw.
I said they hid
in fact, our reporter was there. There was an open space where everybody.
Because I said they hid in a cubicle.
Well, a cubicle suggests there's an enclosure and it's closed. So
they were recollating the park, but it was illegal.
Okay.
Recollating the park is illegal.
All right.
If they don't agree,
let's talk about this a bit about vigilance, right?
That's right.
Your men and women were pretty vigilant on the day, but some also feel some of the excesses we saw on the back of the electoral win was on the back of this purported vigilance. And you, for example, I've seen a number of your posts where you're saying, hey, 5,000 people should drop here. I'm going to this area. Or we hear there's something going on at the Tessanor police training and we are heading there. Some feel that kind of rhetoric. While you may be eager to defend what is rightfully yours, may be whipping up sentiments and letting people spiral out of control. How do you react to that?
Can you show me a single post of mine where I said 5,000 people should?
I saw something like that. If it's not exactly 5,000, it's fine.
I said 5K men.
5,000 men.
I didn't say 5,000, please.
5K what?
We spoke a lot in terms that people could not
understand. So 5K what?
So hold on, like we said, activate our body cameras. People started looking on our agents to see cameras all around them. No, we spoke in coded language.
Oh, I see.
We said cock and hold. People were scared. People said, what is happening?
Is it a gun?
No, that's right. But we spoke, the military speaks in terms. So the two military...
But you're not a military officer.
No, I'm only using an example.
Okay.
But two people could sit here and speak on a go term and say, over, copy it. What does copied mean? What are you copying? But that's a term. You get my point. So what
was the code there? 5K,
at the point we said move 20 meters close, 15 meters activate, stand by, stand guard. People did not understand. The digital people got confused, especially when we said activate all body cameras. The digital people were like, hey, but these were terms. So when I said 5K men, jack up, we know what we are talking about. And
so what were you talking about?
I can't expose my plan here because there are some of these terms we'll use in 2028 again.
No, listen.
I can't.
Malik.
We are not doing.
Malik.
We're not doing a plan search.
Malik,
we're not doing a strategy.
Help me here.
Yes.
You're not exposing a strategy.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, there is the basic understanding of words.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And there is also coded language.
Absolutely.
What could be,
and
like you said,
coded language.
Right.
Yes.
You're trying to say that when you put up that post about 5K men, this and that,
the 5K men jack up.
It did not mean 5,000 people should descend on a...
No.
Let me finish.
Yes.
It did not mean 5,000 men should descend on a specific location 100%. And do anything. That's what you're saying.
If you want me to activate it in your studio, I can do that right now. Let me activate 5K men, join news, and you see what will happen. But if you don't see 5,000 men here, it's coded language. I can do it. Let me write on my Facebook post. 5K
please
men,
don't activate anything.
5K men advance to join news.
All right. So
they are all coded languages we use. Then we confused a lot of people. People were attacking me.
All right, but at least it's good to know that you didn't mean you wanted 5,000 people.
At the point, the vice chairman of the MPP even said his people should go and bring guns because I said 5K men. They said they should shoot Basintale. I said, hey, because I said 5K men. Then when I get to 20K men, you run away from this country. It didn't mean violence. We are in power. We are here to take over power, but we've won the election.
Right.
There's no need. We fight and they state. Ghana is a peaceful country.
Right.
I'm a very peaceful person. And I'm a young man. I want to grow and meet this country in safe hands. The only thing I did was to ensure that at this point where this country was in a crossroads, we needed a nation builder like John Dramani Mahama to take us out of the woods because we had to take two decisions. One, to crash the economy, and two, to reset the economy. Ghanaians chose to reset the economy. So all we've got to do is to get to work, to action, reset the economy and put the economy back on track.
All right, thank you for those points.
The economy.
Resetting the economy, I'll get to that because, Nana Oheninto actually made mention of the fact that if the NPP had been retained, it could have meant disaster. It could have spelled disaster for the country.
Terrible.
I have spoken to you already about the incident of looting, bit of it, but how much control have you brought that under? And I was really, saddened when you remember the OT region incident with the 3 priests.
Yeah.
Some people, the rhetoric that they were not in, which person is going to a location like that and will be in a castle? You get it. 100%. That was heavy-handed. That was criminal. And while they were trying to safeguard state property, I mean, you don't take the law into your own hands. So what is your, just give me a quick response to these actions, and what further action the NDC will take on?
Oh, the NDC is looking into it. I mean, President Mahama is a peace-loving man. Our national chairman, Johnson Asihedun Ketia, is a peace-loving man. And they have taken pragmatic steps. To an extent, I'm aware of the fact that, I mean, they have interrogated the regional chairman at the OT region, and then I've asked him to, delve deep into the matter, working hand in hand with the security agencies. So we bring that matter.
Your leadership has interacted with the
of course,
priests, yes, and the Catholic bishops.
That I cannot confirm. That I can confirm. But I can confirm.
Well, that we've heard.
Yes, we've spoken to the regional chairman, and the party has taken steps. You know, look, put everything aside. If it's true, if we get to a conclusion that it was true that these were Catholic priests and all of that, we need to ask for forgiveness. I mean, we are human beings. You cannot beat a reverend father who prays for the state, and maybe all these people prayed for John Mahama to even come into.
And they were actually working.
That's the point. So
for the state, out of their pockets.
That's the point.
So to beat them.
So that's that's why I say that. Look, we are looking into it. I mean, if it's really true, they were reverend fathers and all. Please, let's try and.
It's not if it's really true. They were. They are.
So let's try and
let's move from there. But quick one on the elections. Now you've won. You've won the election. It's interesting how, in declaring the results, the EC chair ended. It is finished. Jesus-like. And there was also the acceptance by Dr. Bawumia. It's never happened for someone to accept so quickly. Some have said that in fact, Sami Jemfi posted that it was class statesmanliness or statesmanship. Do you agree with him? And then let's quickly talk about the EC chair and how she's conducted these.
The truth of the matter is that Dr. Bawumia had no choice. Looking at the results,
he could have held on till the EC declared.
Hold on to what? To that 41%.
He could have held on.
What are you going to do with 41%?
No, but he could have decided not to admit until officially, because there was no official communication.
And I'm saying that hold on to 41% and do what with it in your house. What do you do with 41%? You are trailing by 4 million votes. We had 6 million. What are you going to do with 4 million votes? Tell me.
He was trailing by 2 million votes.
2 million, sorry, I beg your pardon. He had in his hands 4 million votes. What was he going to do with 4 million? Your opponent was at 6 million. So if you keep holding on, I'm holding on. What are you holding on to?
But at least you can give him some credit.
President Mahama had conceded defeat in 2016. Look, in 2016, the tensions in this country. In 2024, I beg your pardon, we didn't even have such tensions. 2016 was a tough one. And let me confess, look, a lot of people told President Mahama, don't throw in the towel. The man came out and then said, look, I love Ghana. I'll throw in the towel. Let peace prevail. As for 2024, this one, we beat them well. As Andy can say, this one was a disaster. But in 2016, there was a head-on. It was a head-on till the last minute. Till finally President Mahama gave up. And in 2016, remember, President Mahama was president, not vice president. Bawumia is vice president. He says he's not in charge. So if you are not in charge, what are you even holding on to? So in the first place, there was no reason why he was going to hold on to results. And in this election, the results came in so fast, especially from our quotas. And 21 gun salutes to Dr. Maneboama and the election team. They did absolutely well, fantastic. Because within 2-3 hours after the election, we started getting our results. And we knew we were in a comfortable lead. You understand? In fact, this one was a relaxing lead. So there was nothing Dr. Bawumia would have held on to. Maybe if he wanted to hold on to something, he would have held on to 41%, and that would have taken him nowhere. He considered defeat because he ought to have done so. And looking at the results, in fact, if I were him, I would advise myself not to worry myself if he's coming back again. Because 1.6 million, almost 2 million.
Well, from what we hear, they may be lacing their boots.
Yeah, but it's good if he comes back. If he comes back, it's good for us. You know, in 2024, we told them it was good for us. My boss, lawyer Sami Jemfi, he sat in this studio and said he's happy with the decision. I said it. I said I was happy with Dr. Bawumia.
In fact, I remember, I've forgotten whether it was Kofi Adams or somebody, but the person said that the president-elect had intentionally said something that would spur the MPP to choose Dr. Bawumia, and that because they found him to be the weakest
Yes, we thought.
I see.
In fact,
so it was your strategy.
It was a strategy. And the first day, immediately they voted into office Dr. Bawumia as their flag bearer. All we said was, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Then people said, oh, this was not going to work. You people were scared of him. We said, we are scared of him. We helped you bring him into office. In fact, if I had money by then, I would have supported Dr. Bawumia to win their primaries. I would have done it. I would have sold my motorbike and then given it all to him. Because I would have sold my bike and given it to him because we needed him in office. So when he won, we said, oh, so if they want to bring him back, all our sit here and say is Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. He should come back again. When he comes back,
the EC boss,
do 2 million for him.
She's done her work. She says it is finished on the back of that declaration. There are those members of your party who have not been satisfied with her work, but she's there and she's doing her work. She's conducted elections. It has ended in peace. As some would say, observers, free, fair, transparent elections. There were a lot of castigations leveled against her. How do you feel now that we are at this point?
Well, it is finished. My comment on her. It was finished.
What is finished?
What did she mean by it was finished? Whatever she meant is what I meant. It is finished.
Well, I don't know what she meant, but you are sitting here. I could ask what you mean.
That's my only comment. It is finished.
It is finished?
It's finished. Wallahi.
You had to add the wallahi to
it. It's finished.
No, that now gets me. It is finished, and then you add wallahi.
Yeah, it's finished. Wallahi. That's my only comment to her. She said it's finished.
You are not R2Bs. Wallahi.
She said it's finished. I say it is finished. Wallahi.
Okay. Okay. Should I read any deeper meaning into that?
Yeah, let's move on to the next question. I'm saying it's finished. Wallahi.
Okay, so let me ask you a blunt question. Is EC boss Charlotte Osei going to be retained?
It's finished.
It is finished?
Yes.
Asem Nasa?
It's finished.
Okay. Let's talk about oral, Operation Recover or Loot. Why I bring it up is this morning we activated the phone lines briefly, and some people called and said, listen, if there are people who have looted state resources, call them, bring them to book. And we don't just want jail terms. We want recovery of money
100%.
For the state to use it to develop Ghana. You've spoken about this oral, and some people seem to see it as something that will be activated as a witch hunt. What does oral mean?
Oral means holding people accountable. People must be accountable for their actions and inactions. People must be accountable for state property. People must be accountable for state resources that were put in and trusted in their hands. And so oral is an operation that's going to return and recover all the loot. We felt that a lot of money has gone down the drains. You sit in your studio and there's no week you don't speak about corruption. Because corruption is a canker we are all fighting. And people think that, look, if you have looted from the state, you need to return the money. That is why for the first time in the history of this country, I am suggesting that we have what we call oral projects. People must see what we've used the recovered funds to do. So we don't just recover and put in consolidated fund. We should recover and build a school. We should recover and build a hospital. So people appreciate what corruption has been doing to us. Imagine we recover $58 million from the National Cathedral project. You know what $58 million can do? It can build about 20 schools. It can build 5 hospitals. It can construct roads in this country. And if you do that and you name them oral projects, the NDC will stay in power forever. Trust me. The people of this country need accountability. Look, my brother, Ghanaians don't demand so much. We are not saying that every morning the government should give us fried rice and chicken. We are not saying every morning the government should give us a bottle of whiskey. We are not saying every morning the government should give us a bottle of Coke. All we are saying is that do for us what we cannot do for ourselves. We cannot construct a road for ourselves. Construct the road for us. We can't build a hospital for ourselves. Build a hospital for us. Give us good health care. Give us good access to education.
Right.
That's all we are asking for. You as media men, Joy News, you've never told government come and pay our workers for us. All you are saying is that reduce our tariffs so we could pay electricity bills, reduce our taxes so we could clear our taxes, and then when we pay our workers, the inflation should be down so our workers' salary can survive them. Look, today, if you are working in this country, truth be told, and then they pay you 3,000. 3,000 is good money, but you can't do a lot with it because there's inflation. If you buy fuel in your car, within 2 weeks it's done. That's why a lot of times, a lot of these are camera crew and the rest, they are engaging in what we call jobs. They only come to work because they have to come. When you pay them a salary, it goes down the drains. Joy News is doing well. You are paying your workers well. But at the end of the day, there's inflation. There's hyperinflation. So if you take to 3,000 Ghana cedis to the market, it buys nothing. You come back home with nothing. And that's what we're asking government to do for us. Reduce inflation, stabilize the dollar, stabilize the economy, and that alone is going to create a lot of jobs.
Before you take leave of us, and this has to be brief, there's a return to Parliament today. What can we expect in Parliament? And then again, you have the 120-day social contract.
100%.
Just tell us briefly how that will be activated, when it will be activated, what it means for
this is the first time in history a political party is breaking their manifesto down into bets. So we have the 120-day contract, we have the youth manifesto, we have the women's manifesto, we have the general manifesto. The 120-day contract are things we are going to do in the immediate, so at least it salvages the immediate situation. At least the economy we all agree is about collapsing. The 120-day contract is going to hold it up and hold Ghanaians up. So, for example, we're going to implement the no-fee stress. All people who are going to go to level 100 from next year are not going to pay their level 100 fees. That alone is going to take a huge burden off the Ghanaian parent, so they could adjust themselves and balance themselves for the journey ahead. Number two, we're going to take away all obnoxious taxes. Like the e-levy is going to go off our books. And
you're not going to bring in other taxes from the back door?
The NDC has never done that. We've never taken away taxes and brought things through the back door. It's the MPP that does that. They take one thing and they bring another. They took away the toll levy and they brought e-levy. That's how wicked they can be. But we want to take away e-levy. We are taking away the 10% bed tax. We are taking away the emission levy. We are taking away the COVID levy. All these things are going to be done within 120 days. And then President Mahama seeks to run the leader's government in the history of the republic by running with 16 ministers, and he says he's going to do that within 2 weeks. That is something the Ghanaian people are also waiting for. Okay. National apprenticeship program will be put to kickstart, and the framework for the 24-hour economy is going to come into full force.
All right, so we'll have more time to deliberate on that. In Parliament today, what can we expect? I hope there will be no wrangling about who is sitting where.
In Parliament?
Yes.
When you are a minority, you are going to fight with
the other minority.
Micro minority.
They are the minority.
Micro.
There's no micro
I am even lobbying.
In the terminology.
I'm even speaking to my leadership and my bosses that, look, we can run a 3-shift system.
I know, I see you doing it.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm also, we are looking at that. We can have half MPs, 90 going in the morning and 90 coming in the evening. We can do that in Parliament. I mean,
you have so many.
We have so many options. Yes.
You can do a shift system with your MPs.
That's what you're saying. Ghanaians have given the NDC honor. Ghanaians have given us power. We are grateful to them. When the MPP were saying we will not hand over power to you, I told Brian Achampo, I said, no political party hands over power. On the 7th of December, power goes back to the hands of the Ghanaian people. And Ghanaians give it to one person. That's why they go to the polls to decide. Okay. So when you were saying we will hand over power, I said, which power are you talking about? On the 7th, it leaves your hand. Ghanaians have given us power. Look, let me take this opportunity to thank all Ghanaian youth, to thank all Ghanaians who have bestowed power in the hands of the MPP. I can assure them that the John Mahama I know is a loving man. The John Mahama I know is a brilliant man. He's an intelligent man. He's a sharp man. He's a nation builder. He cares for the country.
Please subscribe, comment, and share for more content.
A private jet at £14,000 an hour. He will never do that. God forbid.
Thank you, Malik.
He will develop this country.
Basintale.
He will move us to grace. He will take us to the promised land. Right. And I want you to bring me here again after 4 years. His 4-year tenure. And trust me, I will be doing the talking. You will be doing the...
Malik Basintale is a Deputy Communications National Communications Officer, Deputy National Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress. He joined me this morning for a discussion. Malik, Nagodi. Thanks for joining.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you so much for watching. Kindly don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay safe till we meet in the next one. I love you, and it's bye for now.